got my back? I got your back. Who's got my back? I got your back. Who's got my back? I got your back. Who got that swag? I got that swag. Who got that swag? I got that swag.
Those were the baseball players from Fieldston High School before their game on Saturday against Rye Country Day. Getting each other's back, and I hope you're excited to be indoors for a couple days here on this cold and rainy week here we have across the tri-state. You're watching Around the Diamond. This is the Metro Show region. We talk about Connecticut, Hudson Valley, and New York City, and I'm your host, Kevin Devaney Jr. As I said, there's not going to be much baseball played on Wednesday and Thursday this week, so it takes a little bit of an opportunity for us to just take a step back and examine how things are shaping up as we enter the midway point here in the tri-state. And a lot went on this past week. Arlington and Ketchum, the two superpowers from the Hudson Valley, they met, they split their matchups. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Fordham Prep with the big win over Iona Prep. Connecticut landscape, we're going to take a little bit of a run through things in New York City. But let's talk about that Fordham Prep game. Iona Prep, they met last Thursday in the afternoon at Fordham University. A beautiful day, but a windy one at Fordham University. It was a back and forth game. Iona Prep led 3-1 heading to the bottom of the fourth inning, mainly because of some misplays in the outfield there. 2 runs coming in to score. As we said, Iona Prep taking a 3-1 lead. Fordham, though, would battle back. They scored twice in the bottom of the fourth inning. Iona Prep put 2 runs back on top in the top of the fifth inning to go back up 5-3. But then here comes Fordham Prep again. Sebastiano Santorelli lifting a 2-run single the opposite way. This good stick that Santorelli swings there, the junior from Tuckahoe. He went 2 for 3 in this game with 3 RBIs. It was tied 5-5 in the bottom of the 7th. 2 outs, bases loaded. The opportunity you dream of as a hitter. Christian Greco comes through there. Bloop single to right field, scores the winning run. Matt Ragone, 2 hits, 2 runs. Kevin Nolan, 2 hits and an RBI. And Fordham Prep comes away with a 6-5 victory. They followed that up by beating Xavier on Monday, so the Rams getting things going. 3 wins in a row, that being the one in the middle, and we talked to Greco afterward about his game-winning hit.
I missed the first pitch, fastball right down the middle, and just missed that to right field. Second pitch, curveball, fouled that one off. 1-2 count, and I just got what I could do, and just poked one to right field to get over the first base side, win the game.
Back-to-back walk-offs for you guys. You know, what did 2 games like this do for you guys, Mental?
You know, really, it boosts our team morale and allows us to just keep working hard and just win some games in the future.
And Greco accepted the challenge. They pitched around the 2 guys in front of him to load the bases up, and he made them pay for it going the other way with that game-winning hit, just barely over the reach of the first baseman for the win there. When we looked at the Hudson Valley rankings and in Section 1 in Class AA, in the preseason we had Arlington, 2-time defending Section 1 Class AA champs, and you had their rival Ketchum sitting kind of in the back burner. Ketchum surpasses them in the opening 2 weeks of the season, and then they met to decide who really the best team was. They met on Thursday. Ketchum won that first game 4-1 on an amazing pitching effort there by Tim Zembauer, but Arlington, the bats came alive in the second matchup there. Mark Barbieri, first inning, 3-run homer. He went 2 for 4 in this game on Saturday with 5 RBIs, and the Arlington offense was contagious all around. Danny Lowndes, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. He scored 3 times in this one. This game was at Ketchum. The teams split their matchups in the regular season, winning both games on the road. Drew Lugbauer and Pasco both had 2 hits and 2 runs scored. Arlington knocks off Ketchum 12-1, handing Ketchum their first loss of the season. And Arlington, really no surprise. And you know, you talk to people about Arlington, and they say Ketchum might be the most complete team. They really have no weaknesses in their lineup, 1 through 9. Arlington, though, is the best team when they want to be. And that's not a compliment to the Arlington Admirals. They're a team that they should want to be good more often than not. They actually lost the game this past week to Lakeland, but they win this game over Ketchum, and just a good overall team effort from them. And they seem to be kind of doing what they do, getting better as the season goes along. To me, I still think that Ketchum is the #1 team right now. Arlington, though, if I was going to bet, I think Arlington's going to be the team that wins Section 1 in Class AA. So very interesting matchup between those 2 schools. More in Class AA, and you know, you see the teams in the southern parts and teams in Westchester never really get the attention the teams in Dutchess County get because they typically dominate. But New Rochelle is a team that continues to come on strong, and they're doing it they're a very resilient team, I think you can say about them more than anything. They took on White Plains again that they were at. They fell behind 2-0 in the top of the third inning, but they got those runs back. Lou Maselli, 2 for 3 in this game, 3 RBIs. He also hit a home run in this one. Great defense there for New Rochelle. And Lou Maselli did it on the mound as well. 7 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. This game kind of went back and forth. Mike Latito, a big drive there. Mike Latito had 4 hits, 2 RBI in the game for White Plains. But the difference was, in the end, it was just Lou Maselli right there going yard. Getting over the fence there at the Davis School in New Rochelle. New Rochelle wins this one 6-5. Maselli didn't pitch great, but pitched well enough to win the game. So nice job there by Lou Maselli and New Rochelle winning, and they kind of moving along here, and they're building their way out. They're going to be a high seed in the Section 1 Class AA tournament. Could be a team with a target on their back as well. In that game, we didn't talk about him in the highlights, but a guy you should know if you've been following MSG Varsity this school year, you know about Kevin Devaney Jr. He was our MSG Varsity Football Player of the Year for the Hudson Valley. It was just a fantastic season, led New Rochelle to a Section 1 Class AA title in football. He's a baseball player, and he's going to play baseball in college. And this past week, Jordan Griffith from MSG Varsity caught up with Cameron about his decision at the next level.
A multi-sport star, Cameron Crabb. Cameron signed his letter of intent to play in Concordia College. Cameron, what did yesterday mean to you, and how's it feel to finally get that all done?
Well, it was great to see everybody out there, all my friends. They were there to support me, all the faculty. It was great event, and I'm just happy that I can get it over with. I'm happy to be a Clipper.
You were the quarterback for the football team, captain of the baseball team. You had an opportunity to play both in college. Why did you choose baseball?
I chose baseball because it was my first love, and it was the first thing that I ever picked up. Picked up football a little late, picked up in 3rd grade, so it was just one of those things. I've always loved baseball. Football hurts a little bit more than baseball does, so it's just good for me in the long haul.
Last year, you guys had one of the better seasons in school history, a league title share with New Rochelle. How do you guys feel like you're doing this year, and do you think you have a chance to defend that?
Well, this year it's just been just working on just doing little things right. We're a team that's always in it. We just got to make more winning plays in the game, and we'll be fine. I mean, kind of struggle a little bit, but I mean, we'll be fine, and I think we'll ride the ship and hopefully make a run.
Finally, I know it's not done, but I mean, just talk about White Plains and what this year's been like, an emotional ride for you, I can imagine.
It's been magical. I mean, you can only imagine what the script has been like when we wanted to write it in the fall, and we got a chance to win a section title, a chance to do well in basketball, and a chance to do well this year in baseball, and it's been a magical run, and I hope it doesn't end anytime soon.
I'm not going to lie, I got little goosebumps watching football highlights. So just I'm very into the football season, can't wait. Section 1 football schedules came out this past weekend. Start marking your calendar. But we now resume with baseball. Cameron Crabb will resume his career next year at Concordia College in East Chester. So he's not going too far, staying close to home, and I think he's got a good future as a baseball player. I think he's a better future, though, as maybe the future mayor of White Plains or maybe a TV personality. He's so good on the interviews, as you saw right there. Cameron Crabb, one of a kind here in the Hudson Valley. Now we talk about a pitcher who's coming off injuries. We talk about, it's scary when you talk about this. We talk about kids coming off surgeries and major surgeries. Tommy John surgery for a high school kid. Well, Anthony Robinson is coming off that for Yorktown, and he has they've eased him back into his pitching, and he's done exceptionally well as on the mound. This past weekend took on the Lakeland team that was undefeated. Lakeland has been a team that's, as you see Robinson right there, undefeated. They've been managing to win games, late comebacks, but they ran into a tall order in Anthony Robinson, who had by far his best effort in his first season back from Tommy John surgery. 12 strikeouts in a 5-1 win over Lakeland. His second win in a row in 17 innings pitched this season. 31 strikeouts, got the offensive boost from Jordan Bilcher, who had 2 hits and 3 RBIs, as Yorktown goes on to win, as we said, 5-1 over Lakeland. Good luck to Anthony Robinson as he continues his recovery. And as I said, easing him in. He's that performance on Saturday to go 6 1/3 innings and give up 4 hits and no earned runs. That was maybe a big turning point in his recovery. So congratulations to him, and best of luck to Anthony Robinson moving forward. A pitcher who's feels like he's been around forever is at Right Country Day and Tyler Fernandez. And Right Country Day kind of goes as Tyler Fernandez goes. Usually he has to go out in the mound and pitch well for them to win. Well, the offense picked up Tyler Fernandez the other day. Not his best. You see here in the first inning, a home run for the first batter that Tyler Fernandez faced to start this game off, and that was pretty much, really, they got more runs, but that was really the only real damage against Tyler Fernandez, because the Right Country Day bats woke up 16 hits, 5 runs in the 3rd inning, 6 runs in the 4th inning. 7 players in the Rye Country Day lineup had 2 hits. Matt Webster leading the way from Hartsdale, 3 RBI in the game. Liam Dalton, Quinn Kersner, and Peter Shue also drove in 2 runs apiece. Tyler Fernandez was out of this game pretty early. He gave up in 4 innings, only pitched 4 innings, 5 strikeouts. 5-3 record on the year for Tyler Fernandez, a 1.89 ERA, 54 strikeouts in 37 innings pitched. But Tyler Fernandez, I'm sitting on the first base line. He's a lefty pitcher. I like to watch the lefties from that side. And he picked off a guy in this game. Your jaw dropped. Then he got another guy caught stealing. He picked him off essentially, and the guy took off for second. The umpire turns to me and he says, "That is the best pickoff move I've seen in 10 years of being an umpire." And it really is. And just what he's done. 7 pickoffs this season. He had 6 pickoffs in a game, 1 game last year. And I talked to Tyler about his pickoff moves and what it means to him and why he's so good at it after that game.
It's a hot topic of conversation. I remember last year there was a game I think I picked off 6 guys, which isn't really good. I don't like to get that many guys on base. But when someone gets on, you know, the guys in the field, they're confident that I can just pick the guy off first. So.
And you had 2, one in the 1st inning, one in the 2nd inning today. I mean, just did you sense the reaction of the runner or the coaching staff, the other teams, when you picked the 2 guys off?
Well, once I pick one guy off, they're kind of like, all right, he has a decent move. Then I pick the next guy off, and all of a sudden they never want to get off the bag anymore. So I'm like, all right, I'll just leave you guys over there.
Funny story about that game was Chris Karen, our MSG Varsity, our cameraman, he does a lot of our shooting in the Hudson Valley. I said, see if you can get him with his pickoff move. And he says, it's so fast, I don't know what's coming. It's so hard to get on camera. That's how good he is at it. And you see the runner there frozen and picked off. So yeah, that is something. He's going to pitch at Cornell next year, and that is something that I imagine a college coach says. If it's something now to teach a kid, that's a pretty amazing move that he has. I would say I would love to see anyone better in the tri-state at pickoffs than Tyler Fernandez. Now we stay in the private schools, and we're going to take a look down at New York City. And you look at Poly Prep, 3-time defending state champions at the independent level, coming off a loss this past week, and they took their anger out on their opponent, and that being Riverdale on Saturday afternoon. As you said, Poly Prep, 3-time champions, and they have the pitching to make it 4. They also have the hitting. Daniel Bass, a sophomore, 2 for 3, 3 RBIs, 2 walks in this game. The Bats came alive. Christian Pellegrino got Poly Prep going in the 2nd. RBI double, part of a 7-run rally, 11-0 lead in the 4th inning. Matt Raffi brings them home 2 runs, and Poly Prep goes on to beat. They go on to beat Riverdale 14-8. Staying now in New York City and going to the Catholic schools, Cardinal Hayes took on Cardinal Spellman. Hayes lost to Spellman a couple weeks back, and they wouldn't lose this time around. They went out there and knocked off Cardinal Spellman behind their pitcher, Richard Villar. He went 7 innings, 5 strikeouts. Spellman's Anthony Crisone, though, watch this sliding catch he makes here in the outfield. Great catch there, nice and slide there on the turf. Nice being wearing the full baseball uniform, but just too much offense in this game. Brian Batista broke a scoreless tie with a home run in the 2nd inning. Hayes went up 3-0 after 2 innings, and then Villar took over from there, as we said. 5 strikeouts in 7 innings. Doesn't throw super hard, but the big kid, the ball, the angle that comes in on it is hard for hitters to catch up to. So Richard Villar gets the win. Cardinal Hayes knocks off Spellman 5-3. And now we move on to our final game from New York City. And you know, they said something strange happened in this game. And I said, well, what happened? They said, you got to watch the highlights to really appreciate what happened. So we're going to watch those highlights right now. On the mound is Chris Carnbach, and he's the pitcher for James Madison that took on Fort Hamilton. And you see some great defensive plays here, and Chris Carnbach, another pickoff move. That was great for a righty to pick off move like that. Chris Carnbach threw a no-hitter in this game. What made it so rare was the fact that he did it with no strikeouts. He did it with a little bit of offense. They won this game 3-0. Jordan Wilson with a sac fly, and Madison won this game 3-0, but Chris Carnbach, a no-hitter with no strikeouts. He said afterwards that he did not even know that he was throwing a no-hitter, but a very rare occurrence for a pitcher. Usually at the high school level, you're blowing kids away, 15, 16 strikeouts. He did it with none, and his first career no-hitter for James Madison. So congratulations to Carnbach on that win, and that takes us around the New York City region. Let's take a look at some of the games to watch in this next upcoming week. Here in the metro region on Thursday, James Madison going to take on Telecommunications, ranked in the top 20 in the tri-state. This game was rained out from earlier in the week. They're going to resume on Thursday at 4 p.m. On Friday, Beacon John Jay, yes, they met in last year's Section 1 Class A championship. Most likely not going to see Tony Romanelli on the mound, though, for the Bulldogs. John Jay, they're kind of lurking. Not playing great, not playing consistent, but they're a team that's building. On Saturday, Eastchester's Dom Ciceri, his 50th season as varsity baseball coach. He's holding a tournament with other players, former players that are now coaches at the high school level in the Hudson Valley. And then on Monday, a very good one in the FCX. Staples taking on New Canaan, and Ketchum, your top-ranked team in the Hudson Valley, going to take on a Lakeland squad that is, again, another team that's, I want to say, lurking in Class A in Section 1. And that is a very good matchup on Monday, a Class AA, Class A matchup. Over the weekend, MSGVarsity.com, we went out, took some photos at a couple of games. Go online, MSGVarsity.com. Both games were in Rockland County at the gorgeous facility at Boulder Stadium. And the two doubleheader matchups were Clarkstown South. They knocked off Nyack 7-0, and then you had North Rockland. They went out and beat Pearl River 7-4. Pearl River, a team that started strong. It's a little bit of some bumps along the way. John Vale homered and drove in 3 runs for North Rockland. And as you said, Clarkstown South, they beat Nyack. Nyack, another team in contention in Class A, South in AA. And now our MSG Varsity Tri-State poll is the 4th week of the poll. I wonder when we did this, and we kind of set out to do this, knowing that baseball was unique to any other sport. Lacrosse, you have so many of the top teams play each other, so teams lose. But sometimes in baseball, you have the top teams lose to teams that aren't even sniffing your top 20 poll or your regional polls in the Lounge in New York City and Hudson Valley. And how would we react? And this is really the week we have to figure out how we're going to react, because a lot of the teams in our poll lost to teams that were not in the poll. So now we're going to take a look at our first 5 teams. And I think the reaction, you'll get the sense here, there really wasn't much. And Don Bosco comes into the poll as the number 20 team. Even though they lost, don't be fooled by their records. Really are. You can make a case they're one of the top 10 teams in the Tri-State. But at 7-5, we had them at number 20. Arlington comes out, your 2-time defending champions. I just think Arlington is just not playing consistent enough baseball. Plainview JFK lost twice this past week after a 12-0 start. They dropped some spots, but they're hanging in there despite those 2 losses. Our number 18 team up in Connecticut is New Canaan, your defending Class L state champions in Connecticut. They move up 1 spot. The momentum's building. Big test on Monday against Staples. Our number 17 team is Telecommunications at 8-0. They haven't played too much baseball over the past week. They've been rained out and they've had other issues, and they're going to take on James Madison. Really their biggest test of the season so far. And then our number 16 team is Longwood at 11-3, losing on Monday to Ward Melville, coming back, beating them on Tuesday. We felt they just played such good baseball over the course of the season. They belong in here on number 16 teams. As we said, they split with their 2 matchups with Ward Melville this past week. And now we go to the next, number 15, and that being Beacon High School, 9-1 all in the year. They move up 3 spots, really in line to win a Class A champion in Section 1. Tony Romanelli headed to Wake Forest, 17 strikeouts in Monday's 2-0 win over Somers. Now the number 14 team out to New Jersey. You're going to see a little bit of a trend here with New Jersey teams inching their way up to the top of the pack here. They've won 12 games in a row at Huntington Central. They move up 2 spots. Number 13 team, also from New Jersey, St. Joe's Regional. The pitching at St. Joe's has really catapulted them into the middle, and they really have a chance to be in the top 10 maybe by next week. 10-2-1 record overall. They go from unranked to number 13. Our number 12 team in the poll is a team that's coming down the poll 5 spots, that being Fairfield Prep. They lost for the first time this season in a non-league game. And we now look at our number 11 team, and that being Ward Melville, 11-2 overall. And they move up 2 spots, as we said, knocking off Longwood. I think Ward Melville, just the way that they've played over the past 2 or 3 weeks, they've kind of separated themselves from the middle of the pack in Long Island, and they are our number 11 team. Now we look at our top 10 teams in our poll, and we're going to start at number 10, of course, and that being Poly Prep. Now they lost a game this past week, but again, don't react too much when one of the top aces are not pitching. They are the number 10 team. They're going to stay there in the number 10 spot. Number 9 from New Jersey, 13-1, that being Old Bridge. They move up 6 spots. Brandon Abdul, 3 homers, 9 RBIs in just 1 win, that being over Piscataway this past weekend. Our number 8 team is Ketchum. They dropped 3 spots after splitting their matchups. Yes, they beat Arlington, their rival, on Thursday, but the way they lost 12-1 on Saturday, maybe they were due for a game like that, but Arlington going to drop a couple spots from number 5 to number 8. Now we look at the number 17, that being Bergen Catholic. They move up 4 spots. They continue to play well, and John Vandermark, 7 RBI in his last 3 3 game for Bergen Catholic. They move into the single digits in our poll. And the number 6 team being St. Peter's Prep, another team from New Jersey, 15-2-1 despite the pitching. Is this the deepest pitching staff in New Jersey? Antonio Velarde, Dan Cooney, Corey Cattle, Anthony Colgrove, all undefeated on the mound this season for St. Peter's Prep. Now we go to our top 5, and this is where we had some movement, some discussion, but we kept things firm. Milburn moves up from 6 to number 5. Evie Rubal headed to Notre Dame. He gets the win in a win over Seton Hall Prep, our number 1 team. You'll see in a moment. Milburn, though, they lost the game this past week, so we're going to keep Milburn in the top 5, move up to the top 5, but just not any higher than that. St. Dominic from Long Island, they're 11-0. They're the only, really the undefeated team in Long Island right now at 11-0. They want to break out the brooms after they knocked out Chaminade this past week in a 1-0 game. They stick at our number 4 spot. Our number 3 team is Wall from New Jersey. They being 12-1. They're going to stay at the number 3 spot. Ryan Orender and Tyler Swagat. Back-to-back complete games for the Crimson Knights. And now here you go. You didn't see much movement despite teams losing over the last 10 days. MacArthur is going to stay as our number 2 team in Long Island. I just think, as I've said before, Adam Heidenfelder just gives them an edge that I don't think any team in Long Island and maybe any team in the Tri-State can match up with. They're still, in my opinion, are the number 1 team in Long Island, and our number 1 team in the Tri-State going to stay at Seton Hall Prep. I know a lot of people thought because they lost this past week to Milburn 3-1, they'd have been averaging 12.5 hits per game. The body of work. Seton Hall Prep, to me, is the number 1 team in the Tri-State, but they're on notice. They are on notice with our expert Greg Lerner as well to see where they are moving forward. And I think that, again, baseball is baseball. You lose a game every now and then, and it's not really an indictment of how they are as a team. And I feel like I say that every week, but that's going to do it for our shows. Thank you for watching Around the Diamond. Great job this week by Eddie Margulies, Stack, and of course Brian Butler. Bob Stack does it better than anybody else, and Dan Exter as well in New Jersey. Thank you for watching Around the Diamond, and we'll see you next week.